Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Utopia. This is Sinulab, and let's get started. We have been doing a lot of stuff around the base the last couple of days, kind of catching up on my hiatus from being able to do anything in here. But as you can see here, I've started to put to use that bedrockium drum that Mr. Lord Evil J gave us. Started to get into the biomass production. I got a fermenter created here. Realized I needed fertilizer for this. The sugarcane goes here, fertilizer goes here. We can use water for now. I don't really have a surplus of honey that I want to just turn into juice to use for this. Using honey and I believe fruit juice will increase the yield of how much biomass we actually produce per operation, but I think we're fine just now. Right now we just have, what do we got in there, about 6,000, so this will hold a lot more. We do need to automate the creation of the fertilizer. That just takes some apatite and some sand, and actually the next thing I want to work on is creating a sand generator. I mean, I know the desert's right out there, but I need a lot of sand for a lot of things, and we'll talk about that. But we've got some biomass production here, so we've got to get that thing automated. Maybe might make a second floor here to start doing the automation of that biomass and the ethanol and the enzymes and all that good stuff. So that's going there. I've also started production of another beeline, just farming it just for some the honeycombs that make honeydew and other honeys, because I made a rainmaker. That's right, I made a rainmaker, which doesn't take that, but the dissipating charges do. Right now I don't have the pattern here. Oh yes, I do. I do have the pattern in here. And I just need to put some water in there. I've got an aqueous accumulator right now pumping water into this thing. I wonder if I can use a barrel just to bring it over. I don't want to make it a constant water in here because sometimes I put honey and whatnot making other things, or whatever comes out of the squeezer, like the seed juice that we were using for, I guess, something, impregnated cases, yeah. But I needed the royal jelly and the honeydew in order to make the dissipating charges to get rid of that rain so my bees could work during the day. And again, more filing cabinets. This is now just Imperial and just Industrious. There's just so many of them. There's like 1,200. I pulled out like, I don't know, 14 stacks of these things, and they just fill up after a while. Hopefully now that they only have one type in there, they'll last a lot longer. We shall see. Started putting some wood floors, doing a little chisel on the oak planks. Looking pretty nice. Just getting some more cotton just to keep the frames being built up over there. Now I've got 3. I've actually got modest bees in the nether, the chunk loader there, just to keep them growing. I wanted to start getting into the secluded, the abnormal, and the quantum bees, and that all needs sinister, frugal, and austere, which I'm going to need a bunch of modests from just to do some breeding, which we'll talk about. There's an issue with genetics. I can't even get into an acclimatizer because of that bug. But yeah, just making more cotton. There's nothing too exciting over here, except that I finally got the elevator. I've been talking about this forever, huh? Yeah, I kind of styled this up, collecting all the resources that the sludge boiler makes for me, so that's all very nice. Yep, no more stairs there, just a nice little elevator. We did get the thing upgraded. I don't know if it was a configuration file or whatnot, or came with 1.0.2, but it no longer costs experience to use those elevators. That's nice. Turned off the quarry again, hit bedrock. I think I talked about that last time. Nothing too exciting over here, except for that you might notice the drone's working. Yep, he is working. I had to actually increase this. I didn't have to, but after a couple of days, he had only half filled up a barrel. So I increased the yield, especially seeing how much or how quickly I would go through the sugarcane making the biomass over there. So we've got the little drone guy going. Right now he's going to recharge. There's another update on this pneumatic setup is I finally got it on solar power. So I'm just tapping into the energy we're getting from the solar cells over there on this flux compressor. And it's just using the same redstone trick that I used on the compressor over here to turn itself off when it reaches the thresholds and all that jazz. And even got this little dealy bob on here to see the flow of water, not water, but air moving through these pipes, and that's just happening because he's charging. All very good. Keeps itself nice and topped off. Doesn't require coal anymore. I've actually taken all the coal out of here. However, with the design of the tubes right now, I can't remove this guy. If I do, the air just comes out the tube because it doesn't end anywhere. So we'll just do some redesigning here when we eventually get more high pressure tubes set up and doing that. Because the charger actually can go up to a much higher value. The drone itself can hold 10 psi, so eventually we'll move this charger to the high pressure side of things and keep it up around 18 or so like that, so that the drone can hold more air and operate for longer before needing to recharge. But we do have a bunch of apatite. We need this to make the fertilizer. We need this and sand to make fertilizer, but we've got almost 64 stacks of sugarcane going. Just increased this yesterday. I know that really means nothing to you, but not as long as it's been. Anyway. Let's move on. So power. I'm getting concerned about that, so I doubled the amount of solar cells charging. So right now I'm maxing out the cable. These 16 give 640 RF per tick, which is the maximum amount this level of energy conduit can handle. So that's just fine. We're doing just fine on power. After I had set up some additional batteries and was running the quarry to get some more juice or some more resources, another battery there and another battery up there. This thing was completely tapped, and it was just taking, of course, 320 RF per tick to fill up. I just had to double that to try and increase that. Let's see here, what else do we have going on? Oh, I have set up 2 remote chargers. They're actually underneath the ground here and two slots away from the matching batteries thing over there, so that my wand, my staff of traveling, is always being charged along with my armor whenever I get back from excursions or whatnot. Because using this wand to get around the base and having to come over here to charge it was getting a little bit tedious. So now I don't have to worry about it. Whenever I use it, I guess it does reach up here. It doesn't have a very long range. I wonder if I can increase that. But I end up coming down here anyway, so it gets charged. I haven't run out yet, and I don't have to fill it up anymore. So that's all very good. Let's see here. Is there anything? Oh, well, of course there's something else. There's this. I haven't even showed you anything with this AE. Started to get into AE, making a few things. Got this little charging station so that I can change Cirrus quartz into charged Cirrus quartz. You do find some charged Cirrus quartz just by itself, but now I can just charge up my Cirrus quartz, which I have plenty of over there. I might move the quarry though to make some more, because I know I'm going to need a lot. I worked on this little setup here to automate the creation of fluix crystals, pure fluix, pure Cirrus, and pure quartz. Fortunately the things don't despawn when they're in the water, but this crystal growth accelerator greatly helps. Like, oh my goodness, greatly helps. And in fact, I do need to automate turning this off when nothing is actually using it. It just constantly draws power. Not a whole lot. It's not like draining my batteries, but, energy loss is just wasteful, right? You might need that power for something else. So I just don't have any empty factory cables up here to attach to. These are all nodes that do something, either a gate or a valve, and you can't use these as pass-through signals. You have to actually have the inventory cable by itself to get the signal up there. So I might do something underneath, because there is one directly underneath here, but this pulverizes in the way really with the cabling for the power and whatnot. I might have to redesign it, but basically we're always constantly pulling from the item valves on either side and just putting whatever is in there in its done condition into this chest. So it's looking for, this one's looking specifically for pure Cirrus, pure nether. That's on this side, and then we've got the pure fluix and the regular fluix going on the other side. Just need to flip these switches so that the operation to get them in the water is performed, and that's all handled separately in these things, looking to see if the switch is on or off. The 2 things on this side and then 2 things on that side are separate. But we have basically a lot of jazz here. This is just the pure Syrtis quartz, so we're always checking to see if we have exactly one of each of these, and if that's true, it will... I had to pull one out and then put it in the water, and then pull out one, put it in the water, and pull out one, and put it in the water. I couldn't pull out all three and put it in the water, but just grab one, put it in the water, and then ignore the other two. So this is how I had to make that work. These pure ones are all really similar. In fact, they're all basically the same. The only thing that changes is whether or not the switch is on or off. But basically these two, this will take your, in the case of a pure Fluix, we'll take the Fluix crystal and drop it in that pulverizer I showed you back there. Or maybe I didn't show you, but you may have seen it. It's right there. And this one will pull the dust out of the pulverizer and put it back into the chest. This is like the home base of everything. And then this is off on the side, and then once it finds both a sand and a dust, exactly one, it will grab the dust, grab the sand, craft it into the seeds, and then drop it in the water. That works just fine. You don't have to input, output to craft, and input, output to craft, right? Which of course you don't have to. But anyway, that works. And then it's similar for the others. They just take the nether quartz or the Syrtis quartz, grind it up into the powder, make the seeds, and then drop it into the water. And like last night, I had things in here, and I came in this morning and they were still there because I didn't turn on the crystal growth accelerator. I mean, that was like 8 hours and they weren't done yet. I turned this thing on and they finished up. I think they were at 66% when I logged in just about 15-20 minutes ago. But yeah, that crystal growth accelerator, definitely a necessity, and I need to get that thing automated so that it turns on whenever anything's in the water. But anyway, yeah, I have been busy. I've just been doing a whole lot of things that just, needed to get done, needed to get started. No longer on coal, that was a big thing. But in order to get into the high pressure stuff there, I need the advanced PC boards for the valves and everything on the high pressure tubes, and that requires helium plant seeds, which I don't have. I believe those are in the nether, floating on the ceiling. I'm going to ask anybody on the server if they have any before I go hunting for them, but I definitely need to find helium seeds next. So what do we want to do this episode? Hey, there's a little drone doing his little... oh yeah, the drone does not drop into barrels. Nope, didn't like that at all. So I just dropped it into the ender chest, and as you saw, I moved the barrel with the sugar cane up into the sorting system, so everything just goes in there. This, I don't know what I want to do right now. I think I want to focus on getting an AE system up and running with some drives so that I can start storing stuff digitally, getting away from all this excess stuff, like all the seeds and flowers and stuff that are in barrels that aren't exactly attached to my sorting system yet. Get a drive system up here to get everything stored, and then I'll need a lot of this cable down there so I can have a crafting terminal there. I think I can do all that without a controller yet, because I won't go over the 8 channels. This AE2 is a whole lot different than AE1. All the channel dealy bobs you got to deal with, but we'll get into that when I have to cross that bridge. But anyway, let me get started on something and come back when I've got something going on. Hey folks, I think I know what the first thing we're going to work on today is to get a sand generator going. Get rid of this old cobblestone gen the way I have it with just the lava and the water down there. Get an igneous extruder set up. That should be a little bit safer. I actually had brought the lava way down lower just because we had that burning issue a while back. I think it was episode 2 or something like that. But yeah, let's get an igneous extruder down there, and that'll create our cobble. And then from there we'll take some cobble, put it through some machine, maybe a pulverizer. Yeah, because I just want... no, pulverizer will make gravel out of that, won't it? I don't want gravel. Maybe a sag mill, that'll give sand. And without the flint, it shouldn't give any possibility of gravel. At least I think that's the case. Anyway, the sag mill will turn cobblestone directly into sand, which we can then store in a different barrel. Let me get these guys out of here. They're not doing anything. And like that. We need the sand to mix with apatite to make fertilizer for the biomass. We also need sand to mix with all of the dusts to make our seeds to grow in the AE stuff. So we need sand, and right now I've only got 11 stacks, and that's just whatever is, you know, created here by accident or gathered up by, maybe not accident, but just as a byproduct, or it's gathered up by the quarry. I don't really want to dig giant holes in the desert out there. That certainly is not going to be a picturesque view. So we're going to set something up here. So let me get started on that, and I'll be back when I got something going. Alright folks, I think we've got something set up. This should do the trick. Now with the sag mill or the pulverizer, I learned there's both of them have a 10% chance to just create gravel. You know, this one doesn't have anything in here, it doesn't matter, that just increases the chance it'll happen. It can still happen, so okay, we'll sort on those two. I left the original ones over there because they're all attached to the sorting system that's attached to my ender pouch and all that jazz, so this will just be on its own. We just have this ignis extruder creating cobblestone all the time, pumping out to both the top and the side, the top going into this barrel. I should be able to pull out and have guys go in there, right? It doesn't seem to be working. I guess it is. Yes, it is. Very good. So put it up into there, put it out to the side here, and that'll come in here to the sag mill. Grind it up, of course, get it going as fast as possible. Why not? Just get a bunch of sand and a bunch of gravel. I might update these too, just so that they're, or at least the sand one, so that it's 128, since we'll have much more of that compared to the gravel. And like that, just tapped into my power supply over here, and the power supply is over here because actually I've got, you know, the line going up there up to the pneumatic craft, so that, well, we're going to have lines all over the place, but it's nice that they're all hidden. You just can't even see them. So you know, hide all these lines. This is done. We've got sand production on its way, so that's a good thing. All right, let's see what's next. Hey folks, you know, this hardened energy cell is the original battery with the original charge that I placed out here when I first constructed this thing, and it's still going. That's amazing. Just doesn't draw very much power, or maybe it only does an operation when it kills something, but still. It's been, what, 5-6 weeks since we opened the server? I can't complain about that. Alright. What's going on, folks? So I asked Mr. Lord Evil J if he had any helium plant seeds, and he certainly does. He's got a nice farm going on at his base, so he's told me I can help myself to some seeds, as he's got plenty, so I'm going to do just that. I'm going to get some high-pressure pneumatic craft going on, that's for sure. Hey folks, so we've got helium seeds now, and we can work on that later. It's good to have them. I have them, and that's good. So, but let's work on the AE. I want to get an ME drive going on so that we can start storing our dealy bobs, our inventory digitally. I've never actually used the inscriber or any of these plates that we found, so let's do that, right? For an ME drive, let's see here, we need a couple of these engineering processors, which is going to take this diamond engineering plate and a silicone whatever. I'm going to need the silicone press with some silicon for that. And the other one, I wish there was a back button for this. The other one will need the engineering with a diamond. Okay, so we need 2 of those, huh? We happen to have some mats here. Brought them up here because I knew that we were going to need them. So we need processor. We need the silicone. Oh, just one. And is it engineering, calculation, or logic? Oh my, is there actually one that we're missing? I don't think so. What do we need? Engineering, that's just... Okay, yes. So one at a time here, huh? So we put this and that. Oh, you can only do one at a time. You can't stack them in there. Okay. But it's working. And I bet you here we could speed it up and do some other things, sorting or whatnot. All right, so we got one of those. Let's do another one of that. Then we'll do the same thing with the diamonds and then combine them with redstone, I believe it said. Take that out. So, okay, I can see why you would want to have multiple of the inscribers. You have probably 5, one for each of the plates, and then one empty when you combine. Oh, that was cool. It's got a little animation I didn't even notice. Let's watch the animation. And then a 5th one that'll be empty without any of these plates, and combine these things like we're making now, the silicone and then the diamond thing. Ah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we'll take this out now, and I believe it had that there, and that there. Yeah. All right, these don't actually run too slow by themselves, which is cool. Not like waiting for seeds to grow in the water, right? All right, that's actually not too bad. That's a pretty cool little mechanic, actually. Yeah. All right, so let me get a drive going. I know it's going to take quite a bit to make. I'm going to do a 4K storage. The 1Ks are just so limiting in size for really anything. So I need one of these guys, which is going to be another calculation processor, some more work there, like we just saw, and then 3 more of these, which is just a bunch of these. So yeah, so here why I'm growing some pure Cirrus quartz. That's basically AE's way of doubling their stuff. So with one regular Cirrus quartz, you can grind it down to powder and make 2 seeds to make 2 pure quartz. So I'm going to do that a bunch, get a drive with a 4K, and then maybe work on a crafting terminal, or maybe just a basic terminal right now. We'll see. We've got some work to do. But getting into AE, very nice. Hey folks, so I need to make a lot more of this pure Cirrus quartz, because I need another 6 to get just the pieces together for the 3 of these. Whoops, the 3 of, well, something in there. I need some more of these. I just wanted to show you how this thing works with the Steve's Factory Manager, because I'm going to need to do something similar with this. That just being manual is no good. So pure Cirrus is up. We want that. We've already got the growth accelerator on. I've actually thrown some in here. We've got some seeds in there growing, but all I need to do is just give it some sand, and then once it finds some Cirrus quartz, it'll start to grab that, grind it up in the pulverizer, and once that comes back, it grabs that and a sand, crafts it into seeds, and drops it into the water. And then it'll pick it up when it's done. So that's all very nice. Let's get that going. I need some more of these so I can make, let's see if I can click it correctly this time, this guy. So I need 3 of these, so yeah, I need to make 3 of these. And I could use charged, or I could use pure. And I think just using the pure for this is better. It's more efficient because you get a 2-for-1 on the dust to seed ratio thing. So anyway, this I am going to have to automate. So I'm going to craft a few more of these and use Steve's Factory Manager. Maybe do it over here just so that it's symmetrical. Maybe we'll think about that. But to do pretty much the same thing, to put the things in where they need to go to get each of the pieces, because you can't stack the inputs on here. And that, you got to stand here and do it manually one by one. You can't even just drop them in there and come back later. No, so that's going to need to be automated for sure. For sure. Hey folks, sorry if the audio got a little funky the last time I was here. My microphone changed position and I didn't notice it until I was done talking. But anyway, I fixed things, so hopefully it should be better. And I'm thinking of moving that biomass creation setup I have over there, over here, because it doesn't need to be over there. It's just got the aqueous accumulator over there filling it up with water. I need to make fertilizer, and I've got the apatite up there, and I've got a bunch of sand here, so I'll use a little Steve's Factory Manager to create the fertilizer here. And we've already got the sugarcane up there, so there's no reason to bring it over there. And then I can just pump it into the bedrockium drum and just get a bunch of it just running over here. We've already got power, right? So the only thing I really need to do is figure out how to get items out of the barrels. Right now it's a one-way sorting destination there, and I just go up there and grab it with my hands to grab, but I need sugarcane and apatite down here. So it looks like I'll need to do a little in-out action on at least a couple of those on a different color channel, likely. Actually, definitely. and have it drop into a chest here that Steve's Factory Manager can then access. I think that'll be good. To figure out how to do that. Hey folks, so I did it. I had to do some rewiring a bit. Let me get my Yeta wrench out here and show you. A lot of things hidden behind the wall here. I love the Ender IO stuff. I can share power, item, and fluid in the case of the fermenter. Got the rest of the underground used to hide the Steve's Factory Manager that's doing its thing. So we've got this working, right? Creating sand, creating the byproduct of gravel. And originally I was going to merge the sand and gravel over here also, but really with this thing running all the time, these things, or at least the sand, is going to become full, and then I wouldn't have any place to put any excess sand. So decided to leave those there, although they are all connected to the same sorting system. So we've got Steve's, I brought the 2 barrels down here also. Instead of requesting and keeping a chest full down here, I just brought them down. Like I said, just said, they're all on the same item conduit, so it's all good. So the drone can still get the sugarcane dropped off here, but they've got the Steve's Factory Manager here. It is creating fertilizer. It's keeping 32 in the chest, inputting a couple of sand and apatite, crafting that and putting it back out to the chest. And then over here we're just inputting and then making sure that we have 8 fertilizer in the fermenter. I couldn't detect the number of fertilizers directly in the fermenter with Steve's Factory Manager, so have to do it through a chest. That's fine. Fertilizer actually lasts a pretty good long time. It doesn't go nearly as quickly through it as it does the actual sugar cane. But then on the other one here, all it's doing here is just grabbing sugarcane out of that barrel and just making sure that there's, again, 8 at the destination, but it runs so fast it's just, between 6 and 8 is always there. So we can just connect that and we can see it running now. It's keeping this up at 8, so that just goes through pretty quickly, and all of the biomass that's getting produced is getting pumped right into here. So we've got, slowly but surely, and 65 million, that's going to make a lot. So I imagine by tomorrow we'll be low, if not out of this, depending upon how much the drone brings in. But excellent. We have got automation going for the biomass. That is step 1 in making ethanol, and I think also the enzymes ultimately. And hopefully we'll get those genetic machines fixed. I did read somewhere, I think it was the Reddit or just a post somewhere, that we can cheat in the other ones, the ones that do work. So, since I actually did craft one, and as long as I craft one, the ones that don't work, I bet I could talk to one of the admins of the server, Micronaut, Lord Evil J, and see if I can get that just swapped, and we'll just garbage the one that doesn't work. That seems fair, right? Right. Until we get the 1.0.3 update in Dire Wolf, I don't even know if that's going to be fixed in that version, but we have to wait for the next version anyway. That could be a while, and I've got some work to do on bees that are going to require some genetics just to make things much, much easier. So anyway, folks, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. We got a little 30 minutes worth of footage for me to work with here, and I think most of that was, 15 minutes in the beginning where I was just going over all of the things that I had just done in the last couple of days of just hours and hours of Minecraft. But anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.